In my previous life, Ethan died saving me. Before he passed, he clutched the front of my shirt, glaring at me through gritted teeth. Luna, he spat, if I had a second chance at life, I'd rather have never met you. He hated that I'd used my family's influence to force him into marriage. He hated even more that I had separated him from the one who got away, leading to Ivy's tragic demise. He refused to forgive me until his dying breath, and his death turned me into a ruthless scheming witch in everyone's eyes. After his death, my family's company went bankrupt in less than 6 months, crushed by the malicious public opinion. My parents were also deliberately targeted by Ivy's fans and died in a car accident. Desperate and filled with regret, I leapt from a rooftop, tormented by William and Margaret's curses. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day I was getting married to Ethan. This time, I would never repeat those mistakes. The first thing I had to do was sever all ties with Ethan. Luna, Ethan's voice echoed, even if you force me to marry you, I'll never love you, nor will I ever touch you. Just give it up. Ethan's furious voice rang in my ears, jarring me awake from my daze. What was happening? Hadn't I jumped off a building? Why was I seeing Ethan again, and he was alive? Don't touch me, he snapped. If you're so eager to get married, hurry up. I'll give you 1 minute, get the marriage license yourself. Ethan shook off my hand from his face in disgust. After tossing me the documents and identification, he turned to leave. The sting in my hand told me this was real. I wasn't dreaming. I had returned to the very day I'd forced Ethan to get married to me. In my previous life, Ethan had also been blackmailed and pressured by me, extremely reluctantly marrying me. I thought it would be the start of my happiness, but I never imagined it would lead to such a devastating end. Fortunately, heaven had pity on me and brought me back. This time, I would make the same foolish mistakes. With tear-filled eyes, I watched his resolute back. I wiped my tears and didn't chase after him to beg him to return. He was right. My family was wealthy and influential. What kind of man couldn't I have? This time, I would personally sever this cursed connection. With that thought, I waved over my security detail nearby, telling them to steer clear of Ethan and bring me Ivy, who was hiding in the shadows, ready to frame me. Luna, why did you call me over? Are you trying to gloat? Let me tell you, even if you force Ethan to marry you, the only person he's ever loved, and will always love, is me. Ivy held her head high with arrogance, revealing her long, pale neck, like a defiant white swan. I strolled up to her and said indifferently, so what? As long as I'm willing, he'll still have to obediently marry me. I deliberately said these words to provoke her, wanting to see her reaction. In my previous life, she had also secretly hidden in a corner. After seeing Ethan and me getting married, she ran up to us, feigning a heartbroken expression, the picture of unrequited love, just to make Ethan feel guilty. Then, while Ethan went to retrieve the car, she deliberately provoked me with hurtful words by the roadside, trying to goad me into pushing her. I hadn't actually pushed her. She had pulled my hand and deliberately stumbled backward towards an approaching car, creating the illusion that I had pushed her, just to show Ethan my wicked side. Luna, even if you get his body, you'll never get his heart. Don't celebrate too soon, just wait, you'll have plenty to cry about later. Ivy never bothered to conceal her ugly true colors in front of me. She wasn't wrong. In my previous life, I had forced Ethan to marry me, and on our wedding day, thanks to her schemes, my husband not only called me evil but even asked why I didn't just die. No matter how I tried to explain, he wouldn't believe me. Those words, like curses, like a knife, stabbed deep into my heart, leaving me completely shattered. Even thinking about it now, my heart still aches. From then on, he stopped coming home altogether. Instead, he and Ivy frequently appeared on the trending topics. All year long, just seeing him once was a luxury, let alone anything else. This marriage was no different from not being married at all. Thinking back, I let out a self-deprecating laugh and sighed deeply. Suppressing a whirlwind of emotions, I looked at her. Do you have your ID? Ivy clutched her purse, watching me warily. What do you want? I didn't want to waste time arguing with her. I snatched her purse and rummaged through it for her ID. Luna, what on earth are you doing? Give me back my purse, or Ethan won't let you get away with this. Shut up. I swapped the documents and identification I had prepared to submit with Ethan and Ivy's. You. Ivy's eyes widened, and she was speechless until she saw her and Ethan's marriage license. This time, I'm granting your wish. As for how to tell Ethan, you can handle that yourself. Luna, you crazy? Looking at those 2 crimson marriage licenses, I clutched my chest, which ached with a bitter pang. I forced a smile and said, let's just say I've gone mad. After all, only by doing this could I completely sever all ties with Ethan. What took you so long, Luna? Are you ever going to be done? Walking out of the registration hall, I thought Ethan had already left, but I didn't expect him to still be waiting outside for me. At that moment, he merely resented me for using my influence to force him into marriage. He hadn't yet developed a deep-seated hatred for me. Putting everything else aside, Ethan was a genuinely good person, gentle, handsome, always willing to help others, and he excelled academically. Aside from his dislike for me, I truly couldn't find a single flaw in him. In my previous life, I was stubbornly misguided. He was never meant to be confined, yet I trapped him in a stagnant pool, leaving him miserable and depressed. And then, he ultimately died in an accident trying to save me. How deeply he must have hated me to utter those words before he died, that he'd rather have never met me. Perhaps the heavens brought me back to this day to let go of my obsession and stop being so foolish. At that thought, I composed myself, and a sense of relief washed over me. Ethan, life truly has given me a second chance. This time, let's just pretend we never knew each other. The cost of loving you is too high. I genuinely can't bear it. I know how painful it is to be separated from the one you love. I also witnessed firsthand, in my previous life, after Ivy's tragic accidental death, how much he regretted and blamed himself. Since that's the case, I'll make sure they end up together. Luna, who are you putting on this pathetic show for? Don't think a few tears will make me feel sorry for you. Ethan looked at me with a complex expression. His instinctive movement to reach out to me a moment ago, for a fleeting moment, I actually thought he was going to wipe away my tears. I hadn't meant to cry, but I couldn't stop. Anyone who got to restart after such a catastrophic ending would be overwhelmed with emotion, right? Wipe away those tears quickly. Don't go home and let David and Sarah see, or they'll think I bullied you again. Ethan turned his head away in annoyance, clutching the hand he'd hastily withdrawn. Yes, David and Sarah are still waiting for me to come home. I can't let them worry anymore. Thinking I could soon see David and Sarah, my gloomy mood vanished instantly. I didn't even notice Ethan's strange look. What are you doing? Let me hold on to this marriage license for now. In a few days, I'll give you a huge surprise. Ethan suddenly reached for the marriage license in my hand, which startled me. I hadn't figured out how to tell him about it yet. I could only address it once we got home. I didn't want to see it. I just remembered your tendency to lose things, so I'm warning you not to carelessly lose the license. I won't come with you again to get a replacement. Understood. Rest assured, when the surprise arrives, you'll definitely thank me. I don't want your surprises. Just stay out of trouble from now on. Ethan, thank you for repeatedly saving me from danger. Whether you believe it or not, the old me truly, deeply liked you. For someone who died saving me, I couldn't bring myself to hate him. But a lifetime of karmic debt lay between us. This time, fulfilling his last wish was the last thing I could do. Luna, I told you, I didn't save you because I liked you. I'd save anyone in danger. I advise you. Don't flatter yourself so much. I know. So this time, as you wish, we'll be strangers. When looked into my moist, sparkling eyes, a sudden panic seized his heart, as if something precious was quietly slipping away. He didn't know then that this final look would become his lifelong regret. In a few days, I'd booked a wedding banquet at the Metropolitan. Remember to have David and Sarah dress formally that day. I know you don't like others knowing about these things, so don't worry, it'll just be both sets of parents, no one else. I know. Are you done talking? Can I leave now? Ethan looked as if his patience had run out and walked towards the driver's seat. I gave a wry smile, turned, and walked in the opposite direction from him. Ethan, this time, we're truly never seeing each other again. Under his bewildered gaze, I waved at him, got into the car, and drove away. Ethan sat in his car, watching the taillights disappear, so incensed he almost laughed. He had just walked away from the registration hall, and the one who usually clung to him the most didn't chase after him, begging him to return. So this was her game? What a petty woman. From an unnoticed corner, Ivy, who had witnessed everything, chose that moment to dial her phone. Ethan, are you okay? Why do you ask? Did something happen? No, Ethan, I just wanted to ask you, about you and Luna. We got married today. I'm sorry, Ivy, for only telling you now. You two got married. Luna, she didn't say anything? What would she say? Or did she go bother you? No, nothing like that. I just wanted to know, what are your thoughts on getting married today? Not really. It's just getting married, just a way to satisfy my parents. As long as you're not overthinking things. After hanging up the phone, Ivy's uneasy mood finally calmed down. She didn't know why Luna had done this, but she couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't that simple. Could she have discovered something? Rushing through the front door, I ran right into someone. Ow! What's so hard? My head's ringing from that bump. Luna? A magnetic male voice sounded above me. I looked up and met a captivating pair of eyes. Daughter, why are you back so soon? Weren't you getting married to Ethan today? David, Sarah, I don't want to marry Ethan anymore, so I came home. Who is this? I looked at the man, only then realizing he was still holding me close. I blushed and took a few steps back. Nonsense. What do you think marriage is, playing house? You can just get married or not get married on a whim? Great. So you didn't marry that Ethan guy this time? I hadn't spoken yet, but the handsome guy next to me was even more excited than I was. Once he realized what he'd said, his blushing, flustered expression was like a big, soft, adorable golden. I later found out he was that chubby little kid from next door when I was small, who looked just like a chubby cherub. I remembered he was so cute back then, so sweet and chubby. Every time we were playing house, I was always the mom, and I insisted he had to be the dad. But later, his whole family moved abroad. I cried terribly the day he left. I never expected to see him again after more than 10 years. He'd grown so tall and become so handsome. I unconsciously licked my lips. Just as my weakness for handsome faces began to show, my dad already knew what I was up to. Luna, weren't you so determined to marry Ethan and no one else? How could you now let him marry another woman? Are you trying to kill me with stress? Oh. David, calm down, let's talk this through. Calm down? How can I calm down? You backed out at the last minute. What on earth were you thinking, huh? I couldn't help but do this, David. Ethan and I are just not compatible, we can't get married. It'll bring disaster upon our entire family. What kind of nonsense is that? I think you're just asking for trouble. Sarah, save me. Let me hide behind you. In my desperation, I grabbed the person next to me and hid behind him. Only when he truly shielded me completely behind him did I notice Sarah watching me from not far away, with a wry, exasperated smile. David, Luna doing this must be the result of careful consideration, right? He suddenly turned back and looked at me seriously, then subtly winked at me. I looked at David's pale face and quickly played along. Yes, David, please don't be mad at me anymore. You'll hurt yourself if you get too angry. Sarah also chimed in appropriately, weren't you worried before that our daughter would marry and Ethan would treat her poorly? Now that she hasn't, what are you upset about? Oh, you two just spoil her. Look what you've turned her into. David said that, but I knew he was afraid I'd been through some trauma. Under my repeated explanations, he finally calmed down. If you don't want to marry, then don't marry. My family can certainly support you, as long as you don't regret your decision. Since my rebirth, many things had changed because of my actions. For example, Ethan actually called me, asking when I was coming home and if I wanted him to pick me up. I just happened to see Ivy's social media post, so I sent him her location. After that, he never contacted me again. I naturally wouldn't actively seek him out again. Instead, I started focusing on my family's business. Seeing me like this, Sarah sighed, worriedly asking, Luna, do you really not like Ethan anymore? They had all seen how much I loved Ethan in the past. To be with him, I had given not just money and influence, but my entire heart. In my previous life, after I got married, David and Sarah saw me miserable all day. Knowing would never truly love me, they asked if I had ever thought about giving up. They said a forced relationship won't last. If it truly doesn't work out, then let it go. Life is still so long, wasting it on a one-sided relationship hurts everyone involved. Ethan was a good man, but they wanted my happiness even more. But giving up was easier said than done. For me, Ethan was not only my first love, but also the divine being who saved me from danger countless times. I truly, deeply liked him. Even if he didn't like me, or even detested me, I still couldn't control my heart. It would beat wildly whenever I saw him. Moreover, I felt it wasn't entirely impossible to make Ethan slowly fall in love with me. At least, William and Margaret really liked me, and they didn't like Ivy. Unfortunately, one wrong step led to many more. What's forced can never truly be yours. Sarah, don't worry, I've thought it through. From now on, I'll stay with you and David my whole life, okay? Luna, I'm happy you're finally letting go, but don't you think that Milo kid acts differently around you? I thought of the figure I seemed to run into everywhere these past few days. I stammered awkwardly, is there? At first, David and I thought about marrying you to someone from the Chi family. After all, when you were young, you were always shouting that he was yours. Sarah, it's just that later, seeing how much you liked Ethan, David, and I let the matter drop. Okay, Sarah, I don't want anything right now. I just want to be with you and David. I also want your homemade fruit crepe cake. Alright. I'll make it for you. The moment I turned around, I saw a tall figure on the balcony outside. Milo, why are you on my balcony? Luna, you're really forgetful. This connecting bridge, you pestered our parents to install it when you were little, just so you could easily come over to my house and cling to me. That was all childhood stuff. I won't cling to you anymore. How heartbreaking. But it's fine, if you don't cling to me, I'll just cling to you instead. What exactly do you want? Luna, do you believe in reincarnation? I froze. Then I heard him say, word by word, you letting Ethan marry someone else, it's not because you two are just not compatible. It's because you've also been reborn, isn't it? I glanced back at the door, then pulled him and led him outside. Come with me. Reaching a quiet cafe, I asked him, how could you? Because in my previous life, on the day you were getting married, I also came back. But, you're wondering why you never saw me, right? Milo gave a bitter smile. At that time, you only had eyes for Ethan. What good would my presence have done? I'm sorry. Now isn't the time for apologies. He took out a photo and asked me, Luna, Sarah said you're preparing a wedding banquet for this woman. Is that true? I looked at Ivy's photo and nodded. Yes, what's wrong? This woman is not a good person, he told me, his expression serious. I know, but since he likes her, what can I do? Ivy's deep scheming was not something new. In my previous life, I once accidentally saw her getting out of a luxury car, dressed provocatively. I wanted to tell Ethan about this, but before I could, Ivy sensed my intention first and began subtly framing me in front of Ethan. Ethan believed her every time. His dislike for me turned into hatred, and he warned me he'd divorce me if I acted out again. During that period, I lived a dark, hellish existence. Anyone hated like that by the person they loved wouldn't be able to bear it. Heartbroken and discouraged, I wanted to give up. But Anne Margaret cried and knelt before me, begging me to help Ethan, not to let him be ruined by a woman like Ivy. Looking at their red-rimmed eyes, my heart softened, and I forced myself to rally my spirits for one last attempt. Unfortunately, before I had a chance to act, Ivy's affairs were exposed. Overnight, her innocent sweetheart persona completely shattered, followed by an overwhelming wave of cyberbullying and condemnation across the entire internet. Not long after, she held a press conference with a haggard expression, crying that the online news reports were all malicious slanders against her. She also hinted that it was the daughter of a certain conglomerate, who, failing in love, was deliberately spreading rumors to smear her, all to ruin her completely. When she said that, even a fool knew who she was talking about. At that time, I still didn't know a shocking conspiracy was waiting for my family and me. After this incident, Ethan wanted to divorce me and publicly admitted online that he was Ivy's secret sponsor. Although he explained that they didn't have any improper relationship, netizens could dig up anything. When he was in college, the fact that Ethan had a one who got away in his heart was no secret. He and Ivy were a perfect match, often seen together. They were recognized by everyone as a couple. They never made it official, and Ethan never publicly admitted it, but this ambiguous relationship made people even more obsessed with their pairing. So, when netizens found out Ethan was already married and his wife was me, they combined this with Ivy's previous statements and started to maliciously speculate. My family and I were caught in this storm, becoming the target of public shaming and condemnation. After experiencing a series of terrifying incidents daily, being targeted with rotten eggs, spit, and even physical assaults, I completely broke down. I called Ethan, crying that I wanted to divorce him. Odd he would readily agree, but he said if we divorced at the height of the scandal, it would lead to malicious speculation about Ivy. To protect her reputation, he chose to sacrifice me. Utterly despondent, at that moment, I completely gave up on him. My family and I were still continuously suffering malicious attacks, and he never once stood up for me. Instead, there was a strange team online called Luna's Guardians, silently speaking out for my family and me. It was then that I realized that forcing things never leads to a good outcome. I wanted to stop all this, but then Ivy's tragic accidental death sent everything spiraling out of control. My family went bankrupt, David and Sarah died. I should have been the one hit and killed in the street, but instead, it was Ethan. Finally, everyone called me evil, saying I was the one who truly deserved to die. Even Anne Margaret, who initially liked me a lot, accused me of being a jinx and responsible for everyone's deaths. Unable to bear the immense pressure, filled with regret and despair, I walked onto the rooftop and leapt. Luna. Luna, what's wrong? Milo's anxious voice pulled me out of my painful memories. I'm in so much pain. My heart aches so badly. I sobbed. Even back in reality, I was still immersed in that despair and pain, unable to pull myself out. Shoo, it's okay. Don't cry, don't be afraid. I'm right here. This time, I promise to protect you. Milo held me in his arms, gently comforting me. His voice carried a firm, calming power that soothed me. Once I had calmed down, he suddenly knelt on one knee in front of me, with a seriousness I'd never seen before. Luna, let's get married? I was left speechless by his sudden gesture. But before I could say anything, someone suddenly rushed over and punched him, sending him to the ground. Milo. Luna. Only when I was pulled back did I realize the assailant was Ethan. He looked furious, like a husband catching his wife cheating. His eyes bloodshot, he gla. Read at me. You haven't been willing to come home these past few days. Are you out here messing around with other guys? Slap, I slapped him. I went over and helped Milo up. Are you okay? Milo fluttered his long eyelashes, leaning against me, looking as if he was about to faint from pain. Luna, I hurt. I'll take you to the hospital. Luna, I'm your husband. Where are you going with him? Ethan blocked my path, looking utterly devastated. I looked at Ivy not far away, then said, on the day we got married, you said we'd live separate lives. If you've changed your mind and want to be a real couple, how about we go back and consummate our marriage right now? Ethan's face flushed crimson as he pulled away from me. Luna, have you no shame? Didn't you say you're my husband? Isn't it perfectly natural for me to sleep with my own husband? Ethan was about to say more, but Ivy cut him off. I wasn't in the mood to keep arguing, so I tossed out a "see you at the wedding banquet tomorrow" and left. If you want to cry, just cry it out. No one here will laugh at you. As we left the hospital, Milo saw that I remained silent. He patted his own shoulder. Considering how pitiful you look, you can lean on me. Are you serious? Of course. I mean, about you asking me to marry you. Milo stiffened and stopped. The expression on his face became serious and earnest. Luna, returning to marry you is something I've been striving for my 2 lifetimes. Stunned by the profound affection in his eyes, I ultimately asked him for a little more time. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair to him. On the day of the banquet, Ethan woke up at dawn, waiting in the living room before the sun was up, counting the minutes as he stared at the door. At 11 in the morning, it wasn't until William called him to leave that he snapped out of his daze. Has arrived? Margaret looked at him quizzically. Didn't Luna tell us to go directly to the Metropolitan at noon? Didn't she tell you? In a moment of silence, William spoke, sighing in disappointment. Oh, the girl's busy enough preparing the banquet all by herself. It's understandable if she didn't get to inform everyone. Let's go, we'll be late. Ethan, Luna is a really good girl. Although she forced you to marry her, our family is where it is today all thanks to her family's support. Don't make a scene with her later. Margaret thought that after she finished speaking, Ethan would, as usual, storm off. Instead, she heard him awkwardly reply, I know, Mom. Margaret and William exchanged a glance and smiled with relief. A mother knows her son best. How could she not see that deep down, Ethan didn't actually dislike Luna? He was just too proud, afraid others would say he was being a kept man. According to her, with the Lynn family's background, plus Luna was pretty, cheerful, and cute, what was wrong with a few people calling him a kept man? Some people wished they had that qualification. She didn't understand what her son was being so stubborn about. William, Margaret. Ivy, what are you doing here? Margaret and the others had just arrived at the hotel entrance when they ran into Ivy and Richard and Susan and instantly became displeased. Luna invited us over. Didn't she tell you? Indeed, in-laws. For such an important occasion, wouldn't it be wrong for us not to come? Who said we're your in-laws? Today is my son's and daughter-in-law's wedding banquet. Don't make assumptions and cause misunderstandings. Margaret's words instantly made the atmosphere awkward. Richard and Susan also hadn't expected to be so unwelcomed, their faces turned red with anger. What do you mean by this? Richard, Susan. Ivy tried to calm them down, but Ethan's single sentence diffused the tension. It's a good day. Everyone should speak less. Let's go inside first and then discuss this. His face was very pale. He seemed to be struggling to hold something back. Along the way, he repeatedly pulled out his phone to check IT. Unfortunately, there were no messages or calls. It wasn't until he entered the banquet hall and was courteously led into the venue by staff, seeing the warm and romantic decorations, that his expression finally softened a bit. He figured, how could the person who adored him so much suddenly stop liking him? This must all be a build-up for today. Luna said she didn't organize a grand celebration because she was afraid you'd be upset. But with all this food and drink, and the luxurious decorations, she clearly poured her heart into every detail. Margaret's words instantly made Ethan's earlier unhappiness dissipate. He didn't even realize he wasn't opposed to today's wedding banquet. Deep in his heart, a secret hint of expectation even sprouted. He wondered what kind of surprise that clingy nuisance would give him today. Hello, and welcome everyone to the wedding banquet. Luna, am hosting for Ethan today. When I appeared on the big screen in the middle of the banquet, the Shen and Qin families were all already there. Now, let's unveil today's biggest surprise. Ethan, happy wedding day. Across the screen, our eyes met. A massive cake was slowly wheeled in. Someone handed Ethan a gift box. Only after he took it did I continue speaking. Ethan, clinging to you all these years has caused you a lot of trouble, and I'm very sorry. Fortunately, it's not too late to fix things. Today's wedding banquet, I organized it for you and Ivy. I know she's the one you love, so I wish you two a lifetime of happiness and many children. From now on, I won't bother you anymore. You're finally free. The moment the connection was cut, I saw Ethan running toward me, his face a mix of shock and panic. He must be blaming me for interfering. After all, marriage was such a big deal, and I took the liberty of deciding for him. But even if he blamed me, I wouldn't regret it. After all, in his heart, Ivy was beautiful and kind, such a good woman, and he loved her so much, it would be a pity if he didn't marry her. Throwing away the remote control, breaking the SIM card, I turned to look at Milo. Let's go abroad to heal. Not from a broken heart, but from deeper wounds. I needed to properly relax to regain the strength to start over. Milo agreed to everything. And my going abroad lasted 3 years. Returning after 3 years, I had become a business elite, an unbeatable force in the financial world. In my previous life, I had detected that my family was being set up. Unfortunately, I realized too late and no longer had the power to turn the tide. Wifey, you're trying to leave me alone and run off again. I really want to just lock you up. I rubbed my forehead, speechless. Milo, can you have some self-respect? A grown man clinging to a woman all day, is that appropriate? Humph, my doctor said I have a sensitive stomach, so I'm meant to be a kept man, Luna, you know that. As he spoke, he pulled out his usual trick, donned a pitiful expression, and looked at me with big, wounded eyes. Are you tired of me? Are you going back to your old flame? I heard that since you left, he's been practically insane looking for you. He's been tirelessly asking about your whereabouts for 3 years. Tell me, are you going back to him? You don't want me anymore, do you? Shut up. I grabbed his ear. I haven't even brought up the things you kept from me, and you're already playing the victim, aren't you? Ow. Wifey, I'm sorry, gently. Hearing him cry in pain, I couldn't help but hug him, my eyes red. Fool, my heart's not made of stone. Why didn't you tell me that in your previous life, you helped me stop Ivy from harming my family, which is why you died with her? No wonder his assistant said that after he woke up one day, he immediately had someone investigate Ivy and rushed back to Riverwood City. Turns out in my previous life, after he returned to Riverwood City, seeing I was already married to Ethan, he didn't appear before me. He had been silently watching over me from the shadows. He only intervened after those things happened. That team called Luna's Guardians was also arranged by him. He found out Ivy and my family's sworn enemies were secretly conspiring to bring down my family. After those people detected him, he was hunted down. The family's influence wasn't based in Riverwood City. Plus, those people also informed the Chi family's opponents. Caught between 2 fires, he ultimately chose to drag Ivy down with him. Wifey, don't cry. My heart aches. Well, who told you to keep quiet? Serves you right. I thought you were mad at me. That night I was drunk. I didn't mean it. I know. I was the one who initiated it that night. Wifey, hit me, scold me, just don't ignore me, okay? What? Milo belatedly reacted, looking at me with wide, wet eyes, utterly innocent. For 3 years, he'd continuously seduced me with these tactics, which eventually led me to lose control. If you didn't hear me, then forget it. Pretend I said nothing. Milo, what are you doing? Let go of me. Never, never, never letting go. Not this lifetime. Wifey finally loves me. I'm the happiest man in the world. Who said I love you? I just saw you crying so pitifully, so I only comforted you a little. A devoted puppy like him didn't care about such details. He'd do anything for a taste, tears meant nothing. he could be even more outrageous. After getting off the plane, we ran into an acquaintance at the airport. It had been a few years. Ethan had become even more composed and reserved, but still just as handsome. Wifey, you're staring at other men for too long. Are you really not afraid of me getting possessive? An arm wrapped around my waist. A certain puppy, with his fur ruffled, was about to stake his claim. Stop fooling around. You're scolding me? I'll call Sarah right now. Tell her you're bullying me. Have you forgotten the Lynn family rules? Milo. Alright, wifey, let's go home quickly. I'm famished. I miss mom's cookin'. Gee, she said she made all your favorites. He kept chattering in my ear, giving me a headache, and I couldn't care less about anyone else. Let's go home, you're so loud. As I pulled Milo past Ethan, Ethan grabbed my wrist. What are you doing? She's my wife. Luna. Ethan ignored Milo's agitated reaction, looking at me with a mix of anger, urgency, and hurt. Don't you have anything to say to me? I looked at him calmly. We already made things clear 3 years ago, what else is there to say? That was your unilateral decision. Did you ever consider my feelings? By the end, Ethan actually started crying. Seeing him cry, Milo almost bristled again. I held Milo back tightly and said to Ethan, Luna, never regret anything I do, except for falling for you. Ethan, you said you wished you'd never met me. I was just granting your wish. I didn't say that. Those aren't my words. Even if you haven't said it now, eventually, when you detest me to the extreme, you will. Cutting our losses now is better for both of us. No, that's not how it is. Wife, how long are you going to keep talking to this guy? Let's go home quickly, don't let my son starve. I guiltily slapped away the hand on my belly and walked forward, wondering how he knew I was pregnant. Is it that obvious? Behind me, the two men exchanged a silent glance. In the end, the bristling puppy had the upper hand. This time returning to the country, the Lin family acquired the competitor, the Hua family's company, with an absolute advantage. In my previous life, Ivy was sent by the Hua family to undermine me, and she colluded with an inside trader from the Lin to bring down the Lin family. After a few years, without me to serve as a contrast, Ivy had long been reduced to a discarded pawn. I heard that she still refused to divorce Ethan. After all, the current Ethan was considered one of Riverwood City's new elite, her sole reliance. However, Ethan didn't protect her as he had in the previous life. His obsession had now become me. Unfortunately, with the G and Lin families around, I was completely protected. As long as I didn't want to see someone, I would never see them again. Until, like a madman, posted a lengthy social media post online, begging me to see him. Before I went, I didn't know he had recently dreamt about his previous life. By the time I found out, he and I had already been tied up by Ivy in an abandoned house. She had gone completely mad. Luna, you're the one who made me like this. Why do you get to have all of this? Ivy, you were the one who harmed others first, you brought this upon yourself. Let go. Luna? Ethan, I'm your wife. This woman tossed you to me like trash the day you two got married. Don't you hate her? Ethan looked at me, his eyes filled with deep affection and regret. His eyes red, he began, Luna, you've always misunderstood me. From beginning to end, the one I loved was always you. In my previous life, I admit, at first, I hated how you used your power to bully others. But later, I thought about living a good life with you. However, all of it was because of Ivy. She created so many misunderstandings between us. After I discovered the things she had done, I wanted to protect you, but I couldn't stop it. Enough. I don't want to hear it. I interrupted him, even if what you say is true, you're the one who hurt me the most. You claim you love me, but all I ever felt from you was indifference and disgust. You allowed her to harm me and gave her all your favoritism. Is that what you call love? No, it's not like that, Luna. I was just deceived, I didn't know. It doesn't matter anymore. You said that if life could be restarted, we should pretend we never met. I hope you can live up to your word. Luna. Can't you give me another chance? I truly know I was wrong. It wasn't until you disappeared from the wedding reception that day that I realized how terribly wrong I had been. Have you two said enough? Ivy, having lost her patience, brandished the sharp dagger in her hand. Today, none of you will have an easy time of it. Ethan, I'll give you one last chance. If you promise me you'll live a good life with me from now on, I'll let you go. How about that? If you don't answer, I'll kill Luna first. No. I promise you, but you have to let her go first. Really? Are you really willing to let me be your true wife? Yes, you let her go, and we'll go back and live a good life together. Ivy seemed swayed by his words and walked toward me. Just as the knife was about to cut the ropes, she suddenly changed direction, her demeanor becoming utterly frenzied. Ha 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 ha, Ethan, do you really think I'm stupid? You wealthy elites are best at using and discarding people. You all deserve to die, especially you, Luna. As she spoke, she lunged at my heart. No. Ethan, his eyes wide with terror, broke free from the ropes and lunged forward. The moment before the dagger pierced my heart, a gunshot rang out, and absolute silence fell. Milo burst in with his security detail. He held me, trembling, his voice choked beyond recognition. Luna. Luna. I'm here. I slowly embraced him, patting his back, trying to comfort him. The next moment, he burst out crying. You scared me to death, do you hear me? Scared me to death. I sighed helplessly, gently coaxing him. Did you forget we learned karate during those years abroad? If it weren't for your son, I would have broken free ages ago. The sobbing man, with red-rimmed eyes, looked at me. I think I just heard things. Wife, say that again. Hiss. Milo, my stomach hurts, take me to the hospital quickly. Your son might not make it. Luna, don't scare me. Ambulance, ambulance. After this incident, the Lin family completely eliminated all hidden dangers. Ethan's company was affected, and he ultimately had to sell it and leave Riverwood City with his parents. The day he left happened to be Milo's and my wedding day. He sent a grand gift. A certain jealous individual, afraid of affecting my mood, secretly had someone take care of it. With a gentle breeze and bright scenery, everything would be the beginning of happiness. Thanks for tuning in to today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your opinions. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. See you next time.